Have you ever trembled at the edge of your own silence, like a shadowed Sappho penning verses to unspoken loves, where defying your fears demands sacrificing the safety of solitude for the fragile hope of connection, weaving courage from despair's quiet loom in a timeless struggle for identity's voice? In episode 7 of Secrets of the Silent, which, released on August 15, 2025, we slip into such a whispered storm, the air thick with the floral scent of a deceptive tea party, the clink of porcelain cups ringing like distant bells of betrayal, and the soft rustle of school uniforms brushing against skin like secrets yearning to break free. This chapter, nestled in the magical academy arc where shy genius Monica Everett, the silent witch, guards Prince Felix under the weight of her voiceless magic, unfolds like the tense masquerades of Jane Austen's balls, where hidden motives danced beneath polite smiles. I personally was struck by its delicate menace, drawing you into a gilded room where whispers cut sharper than blades, heart pounding with the dread of unseen traps, suspense coiling like a tightening noose. What if a single word could unravel your mask or save your soul? Imagine the bitter tang of tea on your tongue as eyes pierce your facade, curiosity burning like a candle in the dark. You're not handed the truth. You're ensnared by its allure, questioning if your own silences could bloom into bravery or shatter into ruin. Episode 7, untitled in official releases, brews tension from the prior episode's dance lessons and Claudia's introduction, where Monica's tentative steps towards social bonds clashed with lurking threats, now simmering into a perilous tea party that mirrors the poisoned intrigues of Hamlet's court, where smiles concealed daggers. Key events swirl around Monica's invitation to a seemingly innocent gathering orchestrated by her bully, Caroline Simmons, where veiled barbs and peer pressure test her resolve, culminating in a chilling moment that shifts alliances. Picture the suffocating warmth of a crowded parlor, the cloying sweetness of pastries masking bitter intents, as transitions deepen from classroom camaraderie to treacherous social games, yet tease riddles. Does a refusal to bend fortify trust or invite ruin? This tight vortex stirs relentless intrigue, evoking the subtle betrayals of Mean Girls' lunchroom schemes, where every word was a weapon, compelling you to lean closer and discern if silence shields or shatters. Not the tea sipped, but the urge to taste its hidden poison, probing your courage against whispered threats. Episode 7 deftly advances the narrative by pivoting from Monica's external mission to protect Felix to her internal battle against social predation, deepening the Academy arc stakes by exposing the fragility of her undercover identity amid bullying dynamics. Key revelations highlight Caroline's calculated malice, with a plot twist erupting in Monica's quiet defiance against peer pressure, underscored by Claudia's enigmatic role, balanced by a cliffhanger hinting at looming consequences. Pacing brews deliberately, leisurely tea party setups steep in unease, surging into confrontational spikes for dramatic balance, capturing the light novel's nuanced social tension without rushing. Addressing fan-inquired, cloudy aspects, such as Caroline's motives, debated for their abrupt intensity, and Claudia's ambiguous allegiance, confusing as friend or foe, we draw from the source light novel by Matsuria Sora, Katakawa Books, Volume 2, Chapters 5-6. In Chapter 5, Caroline's bullying is clarified as a projection of her family's political insecurities, not random cruelty, framing the anime's tea party as a faithful adaptation of her social assassination tactic to undermine rivals. This demystifies fan confusion as a deliberate contrast to Monica's silent strength. Chapter 6 reveals Claudia's neutrality as a calculated observer, providing deeper context where the episode's brevity fosters suspense, enriching the animated segment with layered intrigue and foreshadowing Monica's growth as a sage, delivering researched insight that transforms vague malice into a profound commentary on power's masks. Monica's psyche ripples with tender vulnerability, her hidden wounds, trauma from social rejection and anxiety over her secret identity, motivating her hesitant stand against Caroline, surprising in her refusal to lie despite fear, her choices consistent in shyness yet transformative in asserting quiet resolve, marking growth from secluded sage to emerging ally. Caroline emerges as a complex antagonist, her motivations of social dominance revealing wounds from familial pressure, dialogue sharp yet revealing in subtle cracks, consistent but surprising in her faltering control. Claudia's enigmatic presence surprises, her actions transformative in shifting from bystander to potential pivot, exposing motivations of detached curiosity. Cyril's supportive role deepens, his loyalty surprising in steadfast warmth, while Felix's absence looms, hinting at unseen stakes. Silent courage manifests as life's unspoken power, questioning. In a world of magical hierarchies and hidden agendas, does defying fear demand sacrifice of safety for survival's voice, or channel hope from despair's silence? Monica's stand embodies resilience's quiet force, like Joan of Arc's steadfast faith amid trials, her struggles sacrificing seclusion for communal trust. Morality probes Caroline's bullying, where social power mirrors ethical ethical dilemmas. Does wielding influence affirm control or amplify isolation? Sacrifice pulses in Monica's defiance, countering despair in loyal bonds, manifesting resonance on identity's silent strength, echoing Kierkegaard's leap of faith, where embracing vulnerability pits personal fear against collective hope. New lore on Serendia Academy's social hierarchies enriches the universe, portraying them as microcosms of noble politics with unspoken rules on status and betrayal, complicating Monica's mission with covert power plays, adding cultural depth without overload, heightening the magical world's intricate allure. The script simmers with subtle menace, lines like Caroline's honeyed taunts amid clinking teacups carrying foreshadowing weight, impactful and resonant like the veiled insults in Pride and Prejudice's drawing rooms, sharp, subverting clichés through social barbs. Imagine whispering them in a stifling parlor, words cutting like glass, tasting of bitter tea, foreshadowing fractures that linger post-credits. They provoke suspense. Does that silent refusal bind trust or break it? You're ensnared in the chatter, curiosity coiling like smoke, drawn to decipher if words shield or shatter. Not sold the scheme, but spellbound by its seductive sting. Studio Gokumi's art direction enchants intense parlors, fluidity in Monica's subtle gestures where colors shift from warm golds to cold blues, symbolism in shadowed teacups as veiled threats, lighting casting flickering glows that evoke fragile trust. Not mere aesthetics but metaphors for hidden strength where stillness in Monica's gaze amplifies resolve, movement in Caroline's gestures conveying predatory grace that shapes impact as beauty drawn from silent defiance. Camera angles tighten into close-ups for Monica's trembling resolve, compositions framing her against Caroline's looming allies like David facing Goliath's shadow, editing rhythms simmering, slow pans and setups surging to sharp cuts and confrontations that mirror emotions, amplifying tension akin to Hitchcock's suspenseful parlors in psychological dramas. The OST haunts as a delicate requiem, motifs of soft strings crescendoing in defiance, burning into memory like a whispered lament. Silence stifles tense pauses, louder than taunts, elevating dread to profound echoes reminiscent of historical courts' hushed betrayals. The opening Feel by Hitsuja Bungaku underscores Monica's quiet strength, while the ending Mild Days soothes lingering tension. Monica's See You, Sayara Aizawa, delivers with quivering timbre, trembling in fear yet steadying in resolve to embody silent might. Caroline's performer infuses venomous sweetness, capturing predatory fire. Standouts like Claudia's, Ai Keano, detached tone personify enigmatic depth, intensity forging resonant ambiguity. This episode stirred fragile currents within me, scars from silenced fears and wonder at resilient stands, akin to the quiet rebellions in the Breakfast Club where outcasts defied social cages. It brewed a collision of whispered destinies, a breaking point shattering facades and reshaping bonds irrevocably. I tasted the bitter dread of poisoned tea, heard the fading clink of treacherous cups, moments that ensnare, probing eternal queries. When does silent courage liberate the soul, or lure it into deeper isolation? Picture the parlor's glow enveloping you, curiosity coiling like a tightening thread. Did defiance converge, or diverge unseen? The tide deepens your engagement, as if your silences stir, compelling you to embrace the storm. Reverse reading reframes the episode's deliberate pacing, critiqued as slow in setups, as thematic mimicry of silence's weight, enhancing immersion. Complexity in Claudia's motives risks opacity, yet serves stylistic enigma, inviting reflection on hidden agendas. Dialogue occasionally leans expository, a measured critique amid appreciation for emotional depth, though social rules may puzzle. Watching transcends choice. It's the inexorable plunge towards self-discovery. Step into the parlor, feel the whisper sting, and let courage redefine you. What silenced truth awaits your awakening? Have you ever stood trembling before the mirror of your own secrets, like Hester Prynne bearing her scarlet letter under prying eyes, where unveiling your truth demands sacrificing the shield of silence for the fragile hope of redemption, weaving courage from despair's veiled threads in a timeless quest for identity's whispered liberation? In episode 8 of Secrets of the Silent Witch, released on August 22, 2025, we step into such a shadowed crucible, the air heavy with the crisp scent of parchment and ink, the faint creak of library shelves groaning like confessions yearning to spill, and the dim glow of candlelight casting wavering shadows that dance like unspoken truths. This chapter, surging through the magical academy arc where shy genius Monica Everett, the Silent Witch, guards Prince Felix under the weight of her covert magic, unfolds like the clandestine councils of Macbeth's witches, where whispered plots shaped fates beneath innocent facades. I personally was struck by its haunting intimacy, pulling you into a hushed library where every rustle cuts deeper than a blade, heart racing with the dread of exposed vulnerabilities, suspense tightening like a noose. What if a single truth unraveled your world, or forged it anew? Imagine the dry taste of fear on your tongue as eyes probe your silence, curiosity burning like a forbidden flame. You're not offered the secret. You're ensnared by its allure, questioning if your own veiled truths could bloom into salvation or shatter into ruin. Episode 8, untitled in official releases, simmers from the prior episode's tense tea party, where Monica's defiance against Caroline's bullying sparked fragile alliances, now boiling into a covert investigation that mirrors the secretive sleuthing of Sherlock Holmes in Victorian parlors, where every clue hid deeper deceits. Key events swirl around Monica's discovery of a hidden archive, guided by Claudia's cryptic nudges, as she uncovers clues threatening her mission, culminating in a heart-stopping revelation that shifts loyalties. Feel the dusty air of forbidden shelves clinging to your skin, the faint scratch of quills echoing like coded warnings, as transitions deepen from social trials to perilous secrets, yet tease enigmas. Does unveiling a hidden truth strengthen bonds or sever them? This tight vortex stirs relentless intrigue, evoking the coded diaries of the Da Vinci Code, where every page turned peril or promise, compelling you to peer closer and discern if whispers shield or shatter. Not the secret unveiled, but the hunger to grasp its weight, probing your courage against shadowed revelations. Episode 8 masterfully advances the narrative by shifting from Monica's social struggles to her covert role as the Silent Witch, escalating the Academy arc stakes by intertwining her personal fears with the broader conspiracy threatening Felix. Key revelations expose a hidden plot within the archive, linked to the Seven Sages, while plot twists surge in Claudia's unexpected aid and a betrayer's shadow looming closer, balanced by a cliffhanger glimpse of a forbidden ritual. Pacing brews with deliberate tension, leisurely library scenes steep in unease, surging into heart-pounding discoveries for dramatic equilibrium, capturing the light novel's intricate plotting without rushing. Addressing fan-inquired, cloudy aspects, such as Claudia's ambiguous motives, debated for her sudden shift from observer to ally, and the archive's vague significance, confusing without context. We draw from the source light novel by Matsuria Sora, Kadokawa Books, Volume 2, Chapters 7 to 8. In Chapter 7, Claudia's aid is clarified as a calculated move to monitor Monica, not pure allegiance, framing the anime's depiction as a faithful adaptation of her observer role tied to her own sage ambitions. This demystifies fan confusion as intentional ambiguity. Chapter 8 details the archive as a repository of sage relics, providing deeper context where the episode's brevity fosters suspense, enriching the animated segment with lore on magical hierarchies and foreshadowing Monica's growth as a protector, delivering researched insight that transforms vague motives into profound setup for conspiratorial arcs. Monica's psyche unfurls with fragile depth, her hidden wounds, crippling anxiety and fear of exposure as a sage, motivating her cautious probing of the archive, surprising in her bold deciphering of clues despite panic, her choices consistent in timidity, yet transformative in embracing her duty, marking growth from fearful recluse to resolute guardian. Claudia deepens as an enigmatic pivot, her motivations of detached curiosity, revealing wounds from past betrayals, dialogue shifting from cryptic to collaborative, consistent but surprising in tentative trust. Cyril's steadfast loyalty surprises, his actions transformative in shielding Monica, exposing motivations of unspoken devotion. Caroline's absence looms, hinting at regrouping malice, while Felix's distant presence underscores his vulnerability, surprising in subtle reliance on Monica. Veiled truths manifest as life's silent crucible, questioning. In a world of magical secrets and noble intrigues, does uncovering hidden knowledge demand sacrifice of safety for survival's clarity, or channel hope from despair's shadows? Monica's archive probe embodies courage's quiet flame, like Antigone's defiance of unjust laws, her struggles sacrificing seclusion for communal duty. Morality probes Claudia's motives, where neutrality mirrors ethical dilemmas. Does aiding another affirm integrity or amplify self-interest? Sacrifice pulses in Cyril's protection, countering despair in Monica's resolve, manifesting resonance on identity's silent strength, echoing Sartre's existential choice, where embracing truth pits personal fear against collective hope. New lore on sage relics enriches the universe, portraying them as artifacts of ancient magical pacts, complicating academy dynamics with rules on covert power and betrayal, adding historical depth without overload, heightening the magical world's intricate peril. The script whispers with poetic menace, lines like Claudia's veiled hints amid rustling pages carrying foreshadowing weight, impactful and resonant like the coded exchanges pages in the name of the Rose's monastic libraries, sharp, subverting clichés through intellectual barbs. Imagine murmuring them in a candlelit archive, words slicing like quills, tasting of dusty secrets, foreshadowing fractures that linger post-credits. They provoke suspense. Does that cryptic clue bind trust or break it? You're ensnared in the whispers, curiosity flaring like a hidden spark, drawn to decipher if words illuminate or engulf. Not sold the secret, but spellbound by its seductive pull. Studio Gokumi's art direction captivates in shadowy archives, fluidity in Monika's trembling gestures where colors shift from warm candle golds to cold stone grays, symbolism in flickering shadows as veiled truths, lighting casting dim glimmers that evoke fragile resolve, not mere aesthetics but metaphors for hidden courage where stillness in Monika's pauses amplifies dread, movement in Claudia's glances conveying subtle menace that shapes impact as beauty drawn from silent defiance, camera angles tighten into close-ups for Monika's anxious breaths, compositions framing her against towering shelves like a lone figure in Kafka's bureaucratic mazes, editing rhythms simmering, slow pans and searches surging to sharp cuts in revelations that mirror emotions, amplifying tension akin to Nolan's intricate puzzles in enigmatic thrillers. The OST haunts as a whispered nocturne, motifs of delicate piano crescendos and discoveries, burning into memory like a secret of him. Silence stifles tense pauses, louder than rustles, elevating dread to profound echoes reminiscent of historical scribes' hushed conspiracies. The opening Feel by Hitsuja Bungaku underscores Monika's quiet resolve, while the ending Mild Days soothes lingering unease. Monika's Siyu, Sayar Aizawa, delivers with quivering timbre, trembling in fear yet steadying in resolve to embody silent might. Claudia's performer, Ai Kayano, infuses enigmatic warmth, capturing cryptic fire. Standouts like Cyril's, Kaido Ishikawa, steady tone personify loyal depth, intensity forging resonant trust. This episode stirred fragile embers within me, scars from buried fears and wonder at resilient truths, akin to the quiet rebellions in Atonement where unspoken truths shattered lives. It ignited a collision of whispered destinies, a breaking point shattering masks and reshaping bonds irrevocably. I tasted the dry dread of dusty pages, heard the fading scratch of forbidden quills, moments that ensnare, probing eternal queries. When does unveiling truth liberate the soul, or lure it into deeper shadows? Picture the archive's gloom enfolding you, curiosity flaring like a hidden flame. Did secrets converge, or diverge unseen? The whisper deepens your engagement, as if your silences stir, compelling you to embrace the truth. Reverse reading reframes the episode's deliberate pacing, critiqued as slow in searches, as thematic mimicry of silence's weight, enhancing immersion. Complexity in Claudia's motives risks opacity, yet serves stylistic enigma, inviting reflection on hidden agendas. Dialogue occasionally leans expository, a measured critique amid appreciation for emotional. Watching transcends choice. It's the inexorable plunge towards self-discovery. Step into the shadows, feel the whisper's sting, and let truths redefine you. What veiled secret awaits your awakening?